Morning. I'm just walking to work, working on Saturday. Just walking to work. It's a nice morning. But just have a little moan today. I had a triple whammy the other day of absolute fuckery from other drivers. So I'm at the gym. Well, I've just finished the gym. Lots of stuff seems to be happening around the gym these days. So, finished at the gym. I've got in the car. I'm getting ready to exit the car parking space. Now, where my gym is, you've got my gym and another gym next to each other, parking all around the outside, and it's a one-way loop system. So you go in, you go around to the left, goes all the way around the two buildings, and then back out, right? It's a one-way system, very important. It's got something like, it's like a 15 or a 10 mile per hour speed limit, because there's no pavement and it's quite a condensed like car parking area, lots of cars, right? So I've taken the handbrake off. I'm literally just about to put my foot on the accelerator, and this fucking knobhead comes barreling along. I don't know how fast he was going. I would take a good stab at, he was going well over 30 miles an hour. Goes barreling past, and then he like screeches to a halt and reverses into a parking space. But again, he does it at speed, like he slams his foot on the accelerator to reverse, bearing in mind at the back end of the car parking space he was reversing into was a brick wall, and he just it was like he had a breeze block on his foot. He just couldn't accelerate gently. So, well, funnily enough, if you look at like one of my other videos, I think it was Boy Racer one, it was like some boy racer was like doing like well over the speed limit in a car park. It's like, what are you trying to prove to people? It just makes no sense. And like say, this guy goes barreling along and then screeches to a halt, and then like puts the pedal to the metal to reverse his car the length of a car parking space. And I was just couldn't believe it. I was just like, what a fucking prick. So I told him that as I went past. He was just like levelling up to make his car all straight in the lines and all that. So I told him he was a prick as I went past, and he either wouldn't look me in the eye or he couldn't hear me, I'm not sure. I had my window open and I shouted it pretty loudly because I had to tell him what he was. So yeah, he was an absolute knobber. So that's one thing out of the way. So I continue around like the building, and now I said it's a one-way system. You come in and you go to the left. Now, because car parking spaces go all the way round to the entrance / exit, sometimes people will come in, and instead of going all the way round, if there's a car parking space that's free right near the exit, they'll go the wrong way down the one-way bit and go into a car parking space. Fine, got no issue with that, because people who have a small amount of common sense and aren't absolute lemons will do that quite slowly. Like, oh yeah, there's no spaces there, I'll go round. So I'm going along, I'm coming up to the exit / entrance. Obviously I'm going the right way around because I'm not a fucking idiot. And this car comes in, and she literally, this driver, she wasn't even looking to see if there was a space, not even slowing down. She just comes down the road. Obviously the speed limit coming down the road is 30 miles an hour. Just comes down the road straight through the entrance bit and just straight along down like the one-way bit, the wrong way. So I was just like, you absolute knob. You know, I get it if you're like, oh, there's a space there, I'll go in it. But she clearly had no idea that she was going the wrong way down, like down the road. But then she should know that, because it's learning things like that. That's how people get their driving licenses. She clearly ordered hers from Temu or something. So it's a good job that I was paying attention, as opposed to, oh yeah, I'm just dawdling along, I'll change the music or whatnot. You know, it's a good job I was actually paying attention to what was going on the road, because we would have probably had a prang. So by this time I'm a bit stressed out. So I drive home and I come into my estate. Now, to get to my house from where you come into the estate, you go along a road, and the house layout is, there's detached houses and there's some rows of terraced houses. Now, the detached houses have a drive, right? Most people use their drives because that's what they're for. Now, the terraced houses have parking behind them. The parking is behind the houses. Everyone has a parking space. No fucker ever uses them. They all just park on the road. It's not great. But predominantly, they park on the, as you're going along the road, if you're in the UK, as I am, you drive on the left-hand side of the road. They all park on the left, because on the right-hand side is the cars with the driveways. So most of the parking on the road is on the left-hand side. Okay, so it's on your side as you're going towards my house. Now, as you get near the end of the road and you get to the bit where my house is, there's a couple of cars that park on the right, but they park sort of one wheel up on the curb sort of thing, not to use too much space. Fine, not really ideal, because they've all got flipping parking spaces that they don't use, but it is what it is. Now, I'm going along the road. There's two cars coming the other way. Some big, like, matte black BMW penis replacement for some middle-aged fart. And some little car behind him. And it's weird. I'm thinking the guy must be lost or something. So he pulls up. Because he's coming in my direction, he pulls up on his side of the road. So he's basically creating a gap that's about the width of a quad bike, maybe. So no way I'm getting through, no way the car behind him's getting through, even though she's in like a little tinky toy. So had to beat me on. And it just kind of looked up like, what? Huh? It's just like, really cannot fathom how this guy's gone along the road. He can see there's cars on the opposite side. He can see me coming. If he looks in his rearview mirror, he can see a car behind him. And he just pulls up to stop, leaving no space for us to get past. Literally, honestly, I was just apoplectic with rage, if that's the word. I really just couldn't fathom it. And then, because the woman behind him flashed her lights because she was like, we can't get through, he was extremely fucking generous and rolled his car forward like 6 inches to make the gap big enough to fit like a quad bike with a bag of shopping hanging off one side of it. I was just like, do you know what? Maybe old Trumpy needs to start a nuclear war and just wipe us all out, because as a civilization we're just fucking rubbish. I honestly just couldn't believe the amount of absolute fuckery that I had to endure yesterday morning from these just flipping wet wipes. And I think, even though I do like a little moan, and it is all tongue-in-cheek, I'm generally a shiny, happy person. I think all the things that I have a little moan about, generally and whatnot, I think what it boils down to, particularly when it comes to like driving as well, it's when the actions of other people, they do stuff wrong, but the impact for strangers, me, is massive if there's a problem. So case in point, so this guy driving along like using the gym car park road as his like racetrack. If I'd have pulled out and he'd have hit me, okay, yeah, it would have been his fault. But then I have to go like doing all the insurance stuff and obviously still paying like an excess and having the inconvenience of sorting that shit out. And I've got no issue with that when it's a 50-50 problem, like maybe I'm driving too fast, or it's just a genuine accident, you know, maybe like it's late at night and it's raining and all that shit. But when someone is doing something that is fundamentally wrong, i.e. speeding in like that car park, his actions, had we crashed, has a massive impact on me, a complete stranger, that really, really inconveniences me. And it's like the guy putting up on the space, like he knew there was no space, like we can get through, just did it anyway. And it's that level of stupidity. And I think as a civilization, and I'm not blaming social media for it, because it's not necessarily just social media, but I think as a civilization, we seem to have become really, really just daft and fucking stupid. I think if you looked at these actions and going to people like sort of like who were adults sort of 30-40 years ago, they'd be like, that's just absolute stupidity. But now we just seem to just kind of accept it, that's just the way it is. Anyway, let me know what you think. But yeah, other drivers, dicks.